Welcome, Namaste. So this video is just about showing you what is the best posture to have when we are practicing meditation, and also how to use props to support your body during our practices. So throughout the course, I'm not using all of these props. I will mention them, but I won't be using them all the time, as I'm recording outside in nature, so I will only be using a simple towel. However, I wanted to show you how to use these props, and if you have them at home, probably you do, because we will just be using a couple of cushions and a blanket. Then I encourage you to use them whenever you need, so you can really check it out for yourself and do whatever feels best for your body. So the first thing is that I always encourage you to sit on something. So when we are sitting in a cross-legged position, which can be the way I'm sitting now, so one foot in front of the other, but it might be uncomfortable for many people, in which case you can simply just cross your legs, whatever feels the most natural for you. And when we place the cushion under our sit bones, it might even be two cushions, you're going to feel this nice support for the spine. So what you can do is you can just put it under your sit bones, find a comfortable place and see if you want to add another cushion. So if your knees are still quite high, they're above your hip joints, then you might need to prop yourself more. So then maybe adding one more, and just seeing how that feels. And you want to keep your spine nice and long. So what that means is we want to avoid rounding the back like this, or bringing the chest too much forward and bringing the shoulders too close to the ears. You want to really relax the shoulders and have that spine with the natural curves, so that you feel supported, and also it's gonna ensure that you're comfortable throughout our practices. I invite you to, or I encourage you to also change the position whenever you need. So if you feel like stretching the legs when we are practicing, go for it, and then go back to your cross-legged position. So this is one of the props that we will be using. The other thing is when we are in the butterfly pose, so the soles of our feet together, again, you can have your cushion under your sit bones the whole time that we are seated. So here it might be nice to place something under your knees. So for some it will feel comfortable just to be here with your chest open and your spine lengthening upwards. And for some it might feel like there's quite a lot of pressure and you feel kind of pulling and it's just not comfortable. Then you might want to use the cushions to prop yourself. So just finding a place for the cushions that you feel supported, so they're not just being pulled towards the ground, but that there is something underneath, and then see how that feels. You can always place more cushions. You could place two if that feels better for you. So this is something that you can now also do in our practices. So the third thing that I would like to mention is sitting on your heels. So for some women it might be more comfortable to sit on their heels, especially if you are suffering from SPD, so the pubic bone, the pubic bone pain, and also if you have any pelvic discomforts. So in this case, this might feel better, but maybe this is not so comfortable without any props. So that's when we're gonna use a cushion as well. So we're gonna place the cushion between the legs, and we're just gonna sit on the cushion And really here, I would say you're gonna need a couple to create that height. So it might be 2 of these, or maybe 3 if you feel that you need more, so you have that kind of freedom in your feet, because when we are sitting on the heels you might feel that it's too much pressure on your feet. So find which height feels good for you, and you can open your knees as much as it feels comfortable for you, as much as you need. And here, just to keep the pelvis in a neutral position, we're going to keep our feet pointing behind, so they're not turning in or out, but you're pointing basically behind yourself to the back of the room where you are. And this is a nice support for the spine here. So that is our kneeling position. And for any of the practices that we are going to do on the knees, it's nice to use a blanket. I will be using a towel, but a blanket is much nicer. This one is quite thick, so you can roll it up as much as you need, and then just place your knees on the blanket, and we will be doing some positions in all fours, and it's just going to feel nicer for your knees, that extra bit of padding. And the last thing I would like to mention is one of the last things is for your wrists. So I do mention that in the course, but just wanted to show you properly here. So if you're experiencing numbness, or maybe your hands are swollen, you might not feel so comfortable just placing the palms on the mat. So an option is to have fists, and just place your fists on the mat with your thumbs inside, and that can feel nice. If it doesn't feel good, another option is to roll. This blanket is actually quite good. You can roll a mat as well, the front of your mat, if it's a thick mat, and then you can place the edges of your palms, so this part here, onto the edge of the rolled blanket or mat. And then that might give a little bit of relief for your wrists, and then your hands are kind of coming forward here. So see how that feels, and choose whatever works for you. There is also option to go onto your forearms if there is any discomforts in your hands. So lastly, about the yoga nidra, the relaxation part, make sure that you have a comfortable pillow under your head, and then you can use your special pillow for between your legs as well, the pregnancy pillow, or you can also use a blanket like this that is folded, so you place the legs between the lower parts of your legs, and always remembering to stack the knees and stack your heels together, and place something all the way from your knee to your ankle. And then here you might need a couple of cushions, and what you do with your hands is really up to you. You might want to place your hand on the pillow and maybe just have the palms together, or place your hand, the top hand, on your belly, and always listen to your body. So I mentioned some of these in the videos, but not really using the proper equipment, so that's why I wanted to give you this demo, and I hope that this is helpful, and I hope you enjoy the course. Namaste.